What's up guys, my name is Brenner, welcome to my channel. This is Mr. Liquor Sipper and this is 2022 and I figured we get this thing kicked off right. So with all those celebrations and celebratory reasons, is whiskey dick a thing? Stay tuned and let's find out. Alright, so what is whiskey dick? Well, it happens when you have a few too many, when you tie a few too many on, or when you toss a few too many back. You know, and then when it's time for the magic to happen, you can't pull any magic out of the hat, or out of the pants, rather. There's no magic to be had. So is it a real thing? Is whiskey dick a real thing? Yes, it is. It is. Whiskey dick is a real thing. It's not an old wives' tale. Maybe it's an excuse for your last poor sexual experience, or maybe it's someone else's excuse for having legitimate ED, which we'll get to later. So I did some research. Why does it happen? Now, alcohol is actually something that can affect your central nervous system and is a central nervous system depressant. So when you drink, it has a slowing down effect. It slows down your brain and has significant effects on most of the organs that are actually in your body, including your member downstairs. So obviously, you know, this is why drinking and driving is not such a good thing. Though it can affect your sexual performance, it also affects your reaction time, can make it difficult to focus or concentrate. It impairs your coordination. So for those of you that like to do some crazy kamasutra stuff that no one's ever heard of because it's on page 363 out of 500, it's probably not your best bet. It's not in the makings of your most stellar performance. It's just probably not going to happen if you experience whiskey dick. Now to add to the list of issues that can occur, it actually decreases the blood flow to the penis and increases something called angiotensin, which is actually a hormone linked to ED. And then that right there mixed together is just a great concoction of how you will achieve whiskey dick. I don't know why you would want to, but it can happen. Now obviously there's a fine line, right? Fellas out there, I know that you've experienced the, I guess the golden effects of how it can actually help you, because it does provide you with that sort of relaxation, get your mind off of maybe the nerves if you're talking to a pretty girl or whatever the case is, and it can help you. But there is a fine line of I guess the one that does the trick and then the one that drops the dick. So basically the penis and the brain just stop talking to each other. Your brain slows down and it craps out, so will the rest of your body. Everything just kind of shuts off. Drinking too much eventually has a sedating effect, so you feel almost to the point where you're roofied in a way. You're almost completely numb, which is good to a point, like we were talking about earlier. Now when this happens, you or your partner will not be able to get it up. And when I say you or your partner, depending on circumstances and what gender you swing to, I'm telling you right now, there is actually an issue with females that have whiskey dick, but it's called whiskey clit. So you can have whiskey clit or you can have whiskey vagina, though there doesn't appear to be a clinical term for it specifically. You know, it's not like ED or anything like that. It doesn't make any sense really, because it doesn't really matter if you're affected, you're affected, right? So alcohol may be an issue as far as like vaginal lubricant. Like the female's not going to be able to lubricate during the arousal period. The blood flow that's supposed to increase actually doesn't increase. That typically would make them lubricate more, so that makes it more beneficial to both parties, and like the anticipation of intercourse just kind of goes away. Let's just say both people are extremely inebriated. If they're both in the mood, it doesn't matter. It's almost like this magic potion right here, given too much, it will actually shut off that portion of your brain and the connectivity. So there's like a block where each male and female, nothing's gonna happen, even if you are, you know, in the mood. And then to make things worse, if you do just so happen to just get it on, the climax and orgasm just may not happen. You may not get that, and if you do, it will be so anticlimactic, it won't be enjoyable. Now, how many drinks does it actually take to trigger it? That's a hard thing to say. So I think that matters on your alcohol threshold. There are a number of factors that could actually influence how alcohol affects you, including how much you've had, your total blood alcohol level, your body composition, your medications or drugs or anything that you've taken. So for guys, if you're taking anything like SARMs or testosterone or any type of steroids, or even like antidepressants, anything like that, how fast you drank, whether you've eaten obviously is a huge deal. If you've only eaten once that day or maybe not even at all, it's going to affect you more. And then obviously how much water you've drank. Are you dehydrated? And then your own personal tolerance. How much experience do you have in drinking? And then you have the ancient old question: is whiskey dick only triggered by whiskey? No, it's not actually. It can be triggered by anything. You could have tequila dick for all people know. You know what I mean? It really just comes down to the alcohol itself. I tried to look to see. I'm not really sure why it came about for just simply whiskey dick. I think because it's one of the older named alcohols. But the more you drink, the more it's going to affect your sex drive and your sexual performance. So your sex drive may go up and you may feel a little bit more confident, as they call liquid courage. But when it's time to get to the bedroom, it just nothing's operating. Your iOS is just not there. Now another question would be, so how long does whiskey dick last or whiskey clit last? It's impossible to say that. There are a lot of variables at play to influence how long you will actually feel the effects. And then even when you think you're fine, it doesn't mean that your body is actually fine. You know how people are like, oh, I'm just gonna drink some coffee and relax. Like the coffee thing, that's actually a myth and maybe something we get into later on. But your body needs to metabolize the alcohol. There's no way to actually predict how long or how short the duration of this is going to be, and how long an individual, and I'm thinking predominantly males are more interested in this, because I really haven't heard about females until experiencing this until I really started researching this. Now, people want to know, like, is there any way to bounce back more quickly? Like I said, coffee is a, you know, that's a rumor and things. I feel like that's been said so many years. Oh, you drink coffee, oh, it's gonna sober you up, this and that. The only thing that's gonna sober you up, the only thing that's gonna help you is probably eating to sober you up, and then sleeping and resting. Is there a drink in the future that you can opt into as opposed to drinking whiskey or anything like that? There's nothing that's specific to a drink, but specifically you would probably want to drink something that's a lower alcohol content. But then why would you want to do that? Don't push away whiskey. It's the lifeline. It's the water of life. Don't do that. Okay? But you just gotta sip more slowly. Don't guzzle it down here, you bunch of cum guzzlers. Okay? Just drink it, have a good time. Obviously having a lower alcohol blood level is going to help you and assist you with not experiencing the whiskey dick phenomena. So is there anything that you can do to prevent having whiskey dick? Well, sure. Number one, eat before you drink. And then I think in your mind you need to come up with a limit. Like, what is your limit for your sexual performance? I think, you know, you gotta come up with that yourself and figure out, okay, well, if I'm gonna drink 4 drinks, then that's the limit, and that's where my performance is best. Anything after that, droopy down dangalo shows up. You could potentially alternate between alcohol drinks and non-alcoholic drinks. So between your drinks, drink water, and then vice versa, back and forth. Drink more slowly, sip instead of gulping or chugging like I already said. Avoid mixing alcohol with medications. Don't smoke weed or do any other drugs while drinking, because that's just gonna further manipulate or exaggerate or exasperate the issues that you could potentially experience. And nobody, you know, maybe one time is okay, but 2 times, nobody's gonna be too fond of that. The bottom line is whiskey dick is real. It happens to the best of us. You know, I believe it's probably happened to at least one of you guys on the other side of the screen that's out here. Females, I can't speak for you because I've never experienced that, but it can happen. Alright, so as an adult here, if you met a girl or you met a guy and you're hitting it off with them, maybe slow down the drinks at that point in time. Slow it up just a little bit, knowing that potentially something later on could happen. If something does happen, my suggestion is to just be forthcoming and just be upright. Hey, you know, I think you're hot, you're attractive, you're pretty cool, but unfortunately, I lost my mojo. I got whiskey dick. Alright, so that's what I think. Otherwise, you're gonna show up in the bedroom and you're gonna be either really disappointed in yourself, you're gonna be bashful, you know, it's shameful, damn it. It's just shameful. You're a man. This is what you do. This is what you do. And if it's not working, it's embarrassing. So at the end of the day, yes, whiskey dick is real. And with that being said, this is the first video of 2022. I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch, look, and listen. If you haven't already, hit that like, hit that subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Let all your friends, your homies, your dogs, your cats, your grandmas, your grandsisters, I don't even know if that's a thing. Let everyone know who Mr. Liquor Sipper is. And until next time, as always, cheers and keep on sipping.